Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Armchair Pundits Weekend Review Show. We have Lamont here. How you doing, Lamont?
All good, man. All good, Jay.
Good. We've got Bevan. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm alright. That's a lot better at 6:20 than I am now, but I'm alright.
And we've got Leon, who, like myself, is happy again. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, much better than last week, to be honest, bro. So I can't complain.
Well, for those of you, it's your first time watching, please like and subscribe now, because by the time you get to the end, you wish you did it earlier. So like, subscribe, and at the end, share, or even halfway through, share. So, without any further ado, we've had a big game today. Very controversial game. Rightly or wrongly, we'll decide as we talk. But we have an Arsenal fan sitting here. Bevan, give us your take on your draw at the Etihad today.
This is a game that I think this is be careful what you wish for, because before the game I said I'll take a draw, and at the end of the game I felt like I got a loss, even though it was a draw. It was in the first half I thought it was going to be in for a long day. Like Man City were kind of putting us back and us on the ball, and they just looked like they was just going to open us up at will. Like for the first goal, Calafiori got sent to the shop, and the through ball to Haaland was just too easy, and he just split the defense, especially with having one of the best defenses in the league, only conceding 3 away goals in the calendar year before this game. You kind of think it's just too easy. You can't give goals away like against Man City, and you just think you're going to be in for a long day. But then Calafiori made up for it with his goal, because that was a blinder to take it with his left foot. Yeah, and he passed it into the back of the net was brilliant. And then you think towards the end they were still kind of pinned us back a little bit, but then for the last 10 minutes of the first half, I felt like we was on top. We kind of didn't want half time to come, and like Gabriel had a good chance before his goal, and his goal was almost a carbon copy of the chance that he missed, where he just put it over the bar. I mean, from set pieces, Arsenal they're immense. They're gonna cause problems. They switched. At first, he had Doku on him, and then they switched Carl Walker, and it made no difference. Carl Walker did not know where he was. He did a little shimmy, went round the side, went round the back, nodded it in. Like, you couldn't do anything more than that. And then at the end of the first half, we have a moment of madness from Trossard with the second yellow card, and then you think that's 45 minutes. It's going to be a long day. But then the team, this Arsenal team are different from any other Arsenal teams I've seen in a long time, where they're resolute. They want to defend. They want to do things ugly. In the second half, we made the Winter Soldier go back to looking at Bucky Barnes, because he didn't have a sniff really, and yeah, and then we get killed by a sucker punch. He had half a chance.
I'm saying it's hard to have a sniff when the whole game is inside your penalty box.
Well, I'm just
difficult.
saying. I'm just saying.
I can't blame him for that.
Well, he just got nullified, didn't it?
True.
And then
The whole City team got nullified.
they got nullified for like 45 minutes.
He had 6 people around him the entire time.
Yeah, literally.
Bro, you got to do what you got to do. Every time when Arsenal played in the past, teams have said that we can't win ugly, or you just get among. We can't defend. We don't like to do the hard stuff. And then in this game, when we do play ugly, then it's like, they're just playing ugly.
You know what, though? All of that stuff is in hindsight, right? Because at the time, when you look at the way the second half was going, I really did not think City were going to score. I was literally thinking the only way they're going to score is via deflection. Or a ricochet or something, because literally they had nothing. They didn't. They didn't really change tactics. They kept passing it left and right. A player would try to go towards the box and it would pass it. No one was really taking anyone on. And then the only time that it really did happen was when Grealish actually came on and actually tried to beat. Who ended up playing right back because Timber came off.
It was Ben White, but I think it was Martinelli It's Ben White that
Yeah,
came
no,
on to play right
Martinelli
back.
was off the pitch. He got subbed,
Was-
remember, for Jesus.
Must have been Ben White.
It must
No,
have
it's
been
Ben
Ben
White.
White,
Ben
but
White.
he
It's
beat
Ben White. Yeah.
basically beat Ben White, and that's the only time Man City actually really got any joy in the wide areas, because every time they kept playing it back, the defenders ended up having too much of the ball, and for some reason, Gundogan, Foden, and Bernardo Silva they should have been the ones in the edge of the area, and I think the commentators were saying that, but I felt Arsenal's tactics for the situation they were in, they did the right thing, and it's
Yeah,
just
agreed.
unfortunate that they conceded a goal. They didn't really have anything, City, for them in the second half. And as much as people can criticise saying, "Oh, Arsenal should have had a player forward to deal with the counter attack," realistically, their tactics were working, and it was just
Yeah.
a bit of misfortune that
30
goal
seconds.
happens. Literally,
And in fairness, Leon, I know you're saying, obviously the commentators were saying they should have had a man forward, but Havertz was almost getting to some of the balls that were getting lofted up in the air. He was winning one or two of those against the centre backs, and they were looking like they were stumbling a little bit. And I was thinking, wow, you know what? If City ain't careful, they could go behind here like by another goal. But obviously they managed to secure it. Don't get me wrong, but there was one or two chances I see coming ahead, and I'm thinking, if Havertz actually even gets a little nick on that, the person that's running in behind him has basically got a tap in, because the keeper's way out of position. But yeah, I agree. When you're talking about the wingers with them going left and right, it was really becoming a little bit monotonous. It's just like, are you guys actually going to try to put a ball in the box? At least you're just lashing shots from the center of the box because you're really hoping that you're going to get like a slide deflection or something like that. And Doku was getting the ball out wide, and he can kill a fullback, but the geezer wants to cut in every time.
Nah, Timber dealt with him. Timber dealt with him today. Timber absolutely dealt with him today. Timber has been probably the most impressive Arsenal player this season for
Agreed.
me.
Yeah,
Because
agreed.
he's played left back, right
Solid.
back, and every position that he's played in, he's just looked absolute.
Yeah. And he's strong as an ox as well, by the way. Oof.
Yeah,
Strong as an ox.
Doku got nothing out of Timber today, boy. No change.
Now, see, what you were saying about the crosses, though, you forget the size of Arsenal's team, bro. Timber is good in the air. You got Saliba, tower. Gabriel, tower. Calafiori, tower. Rice is more or less a tower. Partey, tower. You're crossing the ball into there, and Man City have only got Rodri.
Yeah.
So they've only got Haaland. That's it.
Yeah.
They've only got Haaland. So unless what they did in the end was bring on Stones to do that job, and they got a goal from it. Not in the way you would think they would, because it wasn't a cross, it was deflected and all that kind of stuff.
But that's the thing they were saying, though, James. What you're saying about them not having the height, then why is Gundogan, Foden, and Bernardo Silva the ones that are in the penalty area around trying to find holes that don't exist? Because literally they were trying to go in between gaps, but Arsenal's defensive line was so mastered in such a way, there was no gaps. So you have to go out wide.
You're still going to have your centre backs furthest back because you're wary of being countered. So obviously you got Walker would always stay back because he's quick. They were smart, Arsenal, because how many times did you see Diaz taking shots? But even if they got him into the box, it doesn't favour them because he's not really going to get a good shot off in the box. So listen, Arteta gets props because at the beginning of the game, like many people have said, you would have liked to get a draw. Yeah. And in the end, they got one. Obviously, it's almost like heartbreak because you're that close to getting a win finally at Etihad. But still, at the end, with a man being sent off, you've come away with a draw. And you've come away with your heads held high, apart from one person, really and truly, who almost ruined it for you guys. So we've talked about the game. What are your views on, first of all, what I saw first half, and then I'll see what you guys want to say. Because a lot of people have said there were two incidents in the game that were similar. One got a yellow card, one didn't. And what I saw from the first one was Doku kicked the ball, but he didn't kick the ball away. He kicked the ball back
where the referee was pointing for it to be taken.
Exactly, where he's pointing for it to be taken. So people say it didn't get there. Okay, he kicked it a bit too hard, but in essence, he kicked it back to where the referee pointed to. So I understand why the referee doesn't give a yellow card to him for that. But for me, with the Trossard one, it's so blatant. It's so blatant. He gives the referee no choice but to give him a yellow card because going on a point you made previously on the Rice one, Bevan.
Yeah.
When you said the right back, what's his name? I forget his name now from Brighton. When he meant to make the pass, there was no one there.
Yeah,
There was no one there to there was no one there to pass to. So when he barged into the man's back and he boots the ball away, you actually had a player out wide, Martinelli.
Yeah.
That he could have just passed it to.
You know what it is? I think he lost his head and something out of frustration. That's what he's done. In that
Why
moment,
though?
Yeah, it's silly.
Why?
The
why
one
is he snapped?
the one with Rice, was it Veltman? Yeah, I feel that one was more. That was more. He set him up, proper set him up for that. Do you know what I'm saying? But this one, he had time. He decided that I'm gonna kick this ball away.
It's frustration, man. It was frustration.
It was frustration.
It's frustration. You just lost it. We lost it for a second because let's be honest, that's not Joshua's game. If you look at where the ball was, if the referee hadn't blown a whistle, there's no way Trossard is booting the ball like that because he would have had a chance to actually beat the player, just release it past him and gone on and went on the attack. But he was frustration because he knew the referee blew the whistle and he just blasted it. And we've all seen it. We've seen it. If you play, you've done it. It's happened. But the problem for Arsenal is that in that type of game, in that type of situation, and the fact that it only happened recently, you can't do that.
Stakes are high. Stakes are high. You need to be locked in. You need to be locked in, man.
To be honest, I think those two, the way that we've got those two red cards against Brighton and against Man City, I think both of them has cost us 3 points. Because I think with 11 men on the pitch, we would have beaten Man City today.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a long time. Man City 45 games unbeaten for a reason at home, bro.
I just don't think the only reason I would disagree with that, Bevan, is only because there's no way you would have played the same sitting back, playing 5-3-1 or whatever you was playing in the second half.
It was 6, bro.
Whatever it was, there ain't no way it's you guys are playing that same. There'd
have been more gaps.
There would have definitely been more gaps. And realistically, Arsenal, Man City would have wanted you to be willing to play out more, and that's what Arteta knew, and that's why I don't think he changed his tactics. He said they need to break us down. Man City hate that because I've been there and I've seen how much of a problem it is for them to be able to break teams down who just sit there. But
then the reason I say that we would have beat them is because last season we did that in both games. In both games against Man City, we sat back. And that's what they said cost us to the league, because when we was at the Etihad, we sat back and we didn't try to attack them enough. I think in the second half, I don't think with even with 10, 11 men, I don't think Arteta I don't think he goes for it. I think he actually sets up to protect the 2-1 lead.
It might sound like a little bit. It might sound like a little bit of a reach here, but I feel like Rodri getting injured was a huge issue, a huge miss for City.
Well, it was
because
for set pieces as well,
bro.
Not just that, you wouldn't have Ruben Diaz as the guy trying to pull strings on the edge of the 18-yard area.
Exactly.
Rodri
and
that's
was it Kovac?
Kovacic,
yeah, he was taking shots at goal, and I'm thinking, anyhow, this was Rodri. I know these are going on target. The keeper's gonna have to make a save. This guy, it's almost like he was almost second guessing himself. Pep had to call them both over and say, like, talk to him and Foden and say, you guys need to swap. Like, Foden, edge. Kovacic, you get in the box, because we need someone that's actually able to create something outside and that's going to retain the ball. It was frustrating to watch the second half. I'm not going to lie, because I just wanted something exciting. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's because the first half offered so much.
It's true.
Apart from the actual shots on target, because Man City had 5, Arsenal had 4, both 2 shots on target each, and both had 2 big chances, 1 big chance missed. But possession-wise, it was 67% to Arsenal, to Man City. But you always know. Yeah, first half. That's the first half.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the first half. So, but you always know set pieces. Listen, Gabriel, it sounds crazy, but he's got 17 goals alone from set pieces. That's mad.
You know what doesn't make sense is that he's not even doing anything exceptional from the edge of the box. He's doing bog standard moves, and it's coming
I'll be honest though.
And I'm not saying. I think it's well designed because Arsenal players are surrounding the keeper and giving the keeper no chance to get out to go and claim the ball. And when you see on the other side how easy it is for Raya to deal, like that's because he's got the protection for the defenders and he can come out and claim crosses. Whereas when they're attacking, they give the keeper no
Problems.
room.
My,
No
do you know what my
room.
issue? My issue with it is, if I'm Liverpool, and I know Gabriel has that kind of record, I don't care what the normal setup is. Van Dijk, you are marking Gabriel.
Yeah, 100%.
Simple.
Yep.
Tottenham, Romero or Van de Ven, you mark him. Simple.
Well, they still
But
lost him.
they-
Romero,
No,
anyway.
but they didn't know because it was slightly different. He got pushed in the back, so it was potentially a foul. But generally, they did okay. But I'm seeing times like Doku was marking him first of all.
I didn't
Then
make any sense.
but then Pep was like, "Why is Doku marking him?" He told Walker to do it, and then Walker lost him. But you have Diaz marking him. You have Ikanji marking him. That doesn't, for me, I don't think it happens. Because obviously you have your normal setup, they've got their zonal marking, etc. So you have your best header doing this and doing that. But when you've got a threat like him, forget the zonal marking aspects. Your best headerer or your person who
him on
marks best tightly, you put him on him. You put him on him.
But then you got-
maybe
but-
Saliba scores. Maybe Saliba scores otherwise. But I would almost take that. I'd almost take that.
If
that
something
he
Gabriel's
could
more
jump
of a
in.
threat.
'cause at the moment,
Yeah.
his timing is just impeccable right now. The timing of his jumps.
And the first one, remember that was
It
the
was
goal
a
he
warning
scored was the
sign.
second
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
I know.
Yes.
I
So the
know.
first
You
one
got
was
to
just
tell
as
the
good.
first
The first one was just as good, bro.
And you've got to give credit to Saka because his
delivery.
crosses, his delivery is almost perfection.
point.
Almost
Yeah.
perfection.
Yeah. But 5 assists in 5 games.
No, man.
But
I
yeah.
think Arsenal deserve a lot of credit. It's unfortunate for them that they didn't manage to get the win, but I'm sure it was great news for all those in the pack that right now that are in contention because it pulls Man City back and it pulls Arsenal back.
Indeed. But yeah, we'll move on because we gave Arsenal way too much airtime. But it was needed. It was a big game.
Yeah,
It was a
I
big
have
game.
to agree. I agree with you. Yeah, way too much airtime.
So, so we'll go to Liverpool beating Bournemouth 3-0. I said a lot on my one yesterday. So again, I'll leave it to you guys. I'll say a little piece, which was I thought we were a bit too open at times. The first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it was too 50-50 for me. Yes, we've still only conceded 1 goal in the league, and our XG is really low. But I'm not happy with Bournemouth coming to Anfield and having 19 shots. That should not be happening. Yes, they only had 6 on target, but 19 is way too much. And so people will say, "But you had a clean sheet." But I'm looking going further forward. I'm happy with the win. You're going.
How do you change that? What do you think needs to change?
The defense and the midfield just need to work and communicate a bit better. That's what it is. It's still new. They're still learning the system. So the fact that they've still kept clean sheets is kind of amazing, really and truly. And that's the only time we've been that open. If I'm completely honest, we lost 1-0 last week, and we won 3-0 this week. And this week they had way better chances than Forest had.
Yeah,
Way
agreed.
better chances than Forest had, and we lost that game 1-0. So as I said, I'm not going to be too hard on them because it's one of those games where you take the rough with the smooth. You sit there, you analyze it, and you say, "Listen, this was too much. You need to rein it in and fix it going forward." And hopefully they do. But really happy with the win. Really happy Núñez gets a goal. I was wondering why he wasn't starting. And I've said it before, Diaz is one of the best left wingers in the world. He's not world class, but week by week he's proving what I'm saying about him. But he still has to prove it the rest of the season.
But you know
over
this.
to you guys.
Do you know?
Isn't he top goal scorer? Is he second top goal scorer in the league? Yeah, that's it. Isn't Diaz second top goal scorer in the league?
Yeah,
he's got 5. He's got 5 and 5.
Yeah. But no one ain't getting near Haaland. Don't worry about that, bro. He's gonna slap it again this season. But I'm noticing that you guys got someone else that can quarterback in the defense now, James. You got Kunite just slapping the ball up and just keep putting it on right on the plate. I'm like, what? I didn't know he had that in his locker.
No, but that's the goalkeeper, bruv.
Bruv, Kepa.
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 What do you used to call him? Something hands.
Oh, biscuit wrists, I call him.
Biscuit.
Because biscuit wrists. One of our friends gave me that one. I'm never gonna, because he watches the pod. I'm not gonna claim it.
But the truth be told, though, I don't know if there's much he could have done there, because if he comes out, he could clear out. Because of how skillful my man is, he could take him out. So he's got to be careful. When Kepa's coming out, he has to be careful there. He's going to come out as a threat, but he doesn't actually want to win that ball, bro. Because if he does try to win it, I reckon he goes off there.
Bro,
I reckon
he
he goes off.
He has to get to the ball first. Exactly.
Yeah,
if you're
that's
going
true.
to come out, you got to get to the ball first. That's what you got to
Yeah,
do.
good. Yeah. He was on his heels, isn't it? Pretty much. He was on his heels. He probably didn't expect the ball to be so on point. In truth, but it was a great ball and a great finish. That guy's so composed in front of goal. You know that.
At times.
Sometimes
I
it can
agree.
be a bit.
There's times when he should dink it and he shoots low, and there's times when he should shoot low and he dinks it, and that's what Liverpool fans want him to fix, and he's slowly fixing it. He had one earlier in the game where he went near post, and you're thinking, just put it across and someone scores, or you lift it and you score. So he should have had a hat trick by half time.
Yeah, agreed.
But listen, he's got 5 in 5. I'm not gonna be mad at it. Last year he didn't score his 5th goal until I think November.
Oof.
And
he's already hit the ground running now.
Yeah. So I'm happy. I can't deny.
I was impressed with Trent for the second goal. No, for Diaz's second goal. Diaz's second goal. That Trent's when he's driving with the ball, I was like, who's that? I didn't even realize it was Trent. Yeah.
Someone had to press him though. Realistically, they were just backing off. I'm thinking, no one going to close the ball. Like everyone's just giving the guy acres. But I guess with Liverpool's attackers and the Liverpool's forwards, them man they run and they make you have to run with them. Because if you don't run with them, you know they're going to get the ball. So it's one of them you have to go. So I guess the way you guys kind of tactically, you had the number, you done the number on them. On Bournemouth. I don't think they expected anything out of this game. Even though they had 19 shots, I think you guys were always going to win that comfortably anyhow, to be honest.
Yeah.
What would you guys say about Bournemouth, Leon?
No, I was going to say they play really, really good football, but I think defensively they've always had that weakness. And you've seen it. I mean, they had to come back from 2 goals down to beat Everton, and you've seen how much of a problem they cause when they go forward. But I think the way Liverpool set themselves up this season, I think they're going to be very difficult to beat. And, as Lamont said, they had a lot of shots, but I think realistically, you never really felt that they were going to be as much of a threat as they have been in other games against lesser opponents. So I think for Liverpool, it was pretty much the kind of result they expected, especially after what happened against Nottingham Forest. But Bournemouth are also the type of team that Liverpool like to play against, rather than a Forest who will just sit back and just hope that they can hold you out.
Yeah, even with the Semenyo,
you're gone.
Even with the Semenyo goal early on, I just thought even if they score early, it's still curtains. Do you know what I mean? Because of what Leon just explained, because of the defensive frailties that they have. Do you get what I'm saying? They're not really that organised at the back, and Liverpool's movement up front they're not to be played about with. 9
times out of 10, Liverpool want you to be open. We want you to press. So come and press, and we're calm. Low blocks, as Arsenal showed today, low blocks are just
frustrating.
Nightmare. A nightmare when at this level of football.
Yeah, if you're organised
and at this level of coaching,
then it's easy to do. Exactly.
So to put a cap on it, for me, happy with the start to the season. Obviously, losing at home it's not a disaster, but it's just extremely annoying. But we're cool, man. We've only conceded 1 goal. We've scored a bag of goals. We've got Wolves coming up next. I'm not gonna proclaim anything now, but I'm hoping that we continue what we're doing now, and we keep moving forward.
Got another clean sheet there as well, Jay.
Yeah, man. And one shout out, Queeve Kelleher. I bet no one knows that's how you say his first name as well.
Name drop.
Queeve Kelleher. Listen, obviously he wants to leave. He's been open that he wants to leave, and when you actually watch him in goal, you can see why he wants to leave. He's a quality goalkeeper. He's not, for me, he's not a number 2. He's good enough to start for more than half the Premier League teams in the league.
He nearly lost concentration though. He had a moment of madness, and he could have.
It happened, but it's his first game all season. It happens. It happens when you're not playing. You look at and he recovered from it as well though. He actually saved it as well. So when he gets a run of games, you can see the quality he's got. Just need to hope that Alisson. I really hope that he'll stay injury free all season. And I was probably hoping and wishing on a star, but I don't know, man. It's just good that we've got him as a number 2, because at the end of the season he's going to be gone, and we've got another one coming in, Mamardashvili. Hopefully he can replicate what's going on with Kelleher. So yeah, we'll move on, because we had an unhappy camper last week alongside me. This week we've got a happy camper at the Spurs. Is it Tottenham Hotspur Stadium still? It's called now.
Yeah, that's not changing for a while. Not changing for a while. Yeah. A victory. 3 points.
22 seconds. 22 seconds.
Bro, believe.
Were you seated?
I was. Just know, yeah. I was there before kickoff, and there was a couple of fans that normally sit in front of us, and they brought a friend. Literally, they were introducing the friend to us, and then the goal happened, brother. I didn't even see the goal live. That's how deep it was. 26 seconds. It was something stupid like that. Great finish by Mbeumo. He's been, a really, really good signing for them, for Brentford. But yeah, typical Tottenham, man. Just slow out the blocks, conceding. Obviously, it was a quality finish, but Van der Ven doesn't get anywhere near close enough to him to cause him a problem being able to volley for like that inside the box. But the response was really good. It was quick. We needed to respond because the fans were obviously a little bit on edge after the poor performance in the London derby, and then the terrible performance against Coventry, where even though we won, the team didn't really put up any sort of real showing of note. So the response was good. Maddison had, for me, what was his best game of the season. He was pulling the strings in midfield. I felt Brennan Johnson had another good finish. Son was probably the most off it, I would say. He had a couple of one-on-ones which he missed, but by and large, we were happy that Brennan Johnson got his goal. Solanke got his first goal, which he needed, because a lot of fans have been sort of on about the price tag and the fact that obviously he hasn't, had much of a sniff, or the chances that he hasn't taken. So for me, it was needed, and a few good signs going forward. And the key is going to be how we now take this on to the next week, because we're playing Man United. So going to be interesting.
Well, Son had a bad day at the office with 2 assists. It's one of them, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's mad because the 2 1-on-1s, normally Son is taking a strike on goal, but he tried to go around the keeper, but never put himself in a position to go around the keeper. Yeah. And he's ended up laying it off both times, and both layoffs were poor. One was to Johnson. I can't remember who the other one was to. I think it was to Kulusevski to have a shot. And yeah, just not really the normal Son. But again, you got to give him credit. He got 2 assists. But yeah, just didn't seem like a normal Son performance. But other than that, as I said, 3 points in the bag. We got to take it. Home games, we got to beat those games. We've got to beat those teams, but we've also got to put up a better showing against the bigger teams. And there's a typical test that we have against Man United at Old Trafford. We never seem to perform well there, so it'll be interesting to see what we do next week.
Long may it continue.
No, well, this Man United is inept, but
it don't matter. It doesn't seem to matter.
I was going to ask you a question though. Do you think the game would have been different if Vicario got sent off? And how different do you think it would have been?
When I first saw it, I thought it was handball, and it looked on the replay that I was proved right.
Yes,
boy. I thought that he got away with one there, and yeah, would the complexion of the game be different? Slightly, ever so slightly. I think we were in the lead at that point anyway, So it would have just been a case of could we hold out? Because knowing us, we probably would have conceded a goal, I'm sure, being down to 10 men and having to bring in Fraser Forster. But not really sure.
It wouldn't be a red though.
No,
I could say it wouldn't be a red
for handling outside the box.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a red. It would be a yellow because
They've changed it.
There are things. A lot of time when we see handing outside the box, you got to remember it's because someone's through on goal, and they hand it outside the box. There were so many players around him, even players behind him. So it's not a clear goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah, it would have been a yellow.
Which is why VAR didn't get involved, because there'd only be a yellow card. Because realistically, you handball the ball outside the box. VAR, if it's a red card situation, VAR will say, "I recommend the red card."
Hit another part of his body, then his hand. It wasn't like he just came out and handed it straight, but it was the fact that I think Brentford were angry that obviously it's touched his hand outside the box, and I think in the normal old school rules, it was straight. It would normally be a red. So
I don't know. I think in that situation, I think it would, just because of where it is. Like I said, I think
I've seen those given as reds.
Deliberate handball.
No, with players behind him.
No, I've seen a keeper come out and he's had to drop the ball because he's gonna. I've seen a keeper come out with the ball in his hands and get a red card for that. And it's nobody.
But this one was it hit another part of his body, then hit his hand.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't really deliberate. Do you know what I mean?
I think it would be a yellow. I think it'll be a yellow. But that's probably.
I don't think the replay does it any favor. I don't think the replay does it any favors though, because it looks like when he handles it, it does look intentional. To be honest, on the replay, it looks like he hits it. He realizes he hasn't got it under control. Then he reaches for it again in the replay. But obviously, real time, it will probably look slightly different.
Yeah.
But either which way, VAR didn't step in.
Yeah,
the referee missed it, and you man leave it with 3 points.
The referee didn't miss it because if he did, the VAR would have then been able to intervene. Actually, it wasn't a clear goal scoring opportunity. So they couldn't
intervene.
They could intervene.
But no, I thought in general it was a very good performance. I think is whenever someone scores so early, I'm always less worried because you've always got 90 minutes to win a game or to not lose. So if someone scores in 22 seconds, do you really have to change your game plan that much if you're always going to win the game?
No. Yes. But I think it was just the fact that it's Tottenham and we just look so fragile at the back.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think Brentford are set up. They're perfect for you to play against. I know, because this is the first time they've beaten you at your. Last season was the first time they beat you at your ground, but before then, you pretty much you deal with them at home.
Yeah, at home normally, I think at their ground they give us problems all the time, but it's the first time. You know, they when they score first, I was just thinking if they had Wissa or still had Tony, we would have been in real problems. But I think the fact that they only had Mbeumo as a real attacking threat was probably played into our hands a lot more. So,
how did Carvalho play?
He was okay. He didn't really offer much of a threat. I mean, he looked like he's still kind of trying to find his feet in that team. But I think, you know, for Bournemouth, for Brentford, they didn't really assert themselves on the game like I thought they would have done, especially how they played for the first 20 minutes against City last week. I thought they would have taken some of that into our game. But, you know, they've started doing the playing out from the back a lot more consistently now. And I think they're trying to adapt to it because there's certain players that you wouldn't think can play that way. But, yeah.
Ethan Pinnock, oh dear.
Yeah, bro.
No. He's had a howler. Oh.
Was he not in someone's team for one of the teams we pick?
I think he was.
There's someone pick. Ethan Pinnock.
I can't remember whose team he was in though.
Man was chosen as Brentford's player.
Right, it's light, man. Why is it so bright?
If you haven't watched it, go and trawl through and look for our episode where someone picked Pinnock.
I'll tell you what, Ben Johnson's goal was Brendan Johnson. His goal was pretty good. His goal was pretty good. He's telling people to shush, but he needs to score goals before he starts doing all of that.
I 100% agree with you. I think he was telling the Brentford fans to shush because they were probably giving a bit of stick on that side of the pitch. But
maybe,
we need to see it consistently. He's silenced his social media. So hopefully he can focus on on improving his game and continue to score goals, because if you score goals, no one can say nothing to you, mate. That's the bottom line.
Speaking to
Well,
some of the
give me his
Spurs
right to-
fans,
He's 2-2 now. He's in a purple patch.
Yeah,
Bro, if
Give
you
me-
call
give me-
2-2 a purple patch, then
Bro, you know,
it's,
you know, I'm messing about.
yeah, I know you're messing about, bro. That's the point.
I think you guys have been a lot of the Spurs fans I've been talking to have been talking about the new signings, just getting an opportunity to play in that. And I see that you guys brought on Gray and Bergville late on. But what did you think about them in the last game, and just overall? Are you thinking they should be introduced a bit more, or are you thinking just like slowly is fine?
I do think they deserve a bit of a chance, because I don't feel like the midfielders been. I don't think any of the midfielders have really been outstanding so far this season. Like Madison and Kulusevski playing in that midfield, I had my doubts about. But yesterday was the only time that I've seen
It's
that
worked.
work,
Yeah.
and that was partly because of the way Brentford were playing, not necessarily because it was those guys, or the combination of the two in there is something that I think will continue to work. It's something that Ange wants to try out, clearly, because he's now done it a few games. And Madison, again, I guess I said he had his best performance, but Gray seems to be coming on at right back, which I said before, I don't understand, because we've got Jed Spence, who not only got a goal the other week, he actually changed the game for us against Coventry, who can play, who's actually a right back. Gray is known in the Championship for playing in midfield for Leeds and was outstanding for them last season. And Bergvall was outstanding for, obviously, in the Swedish league. He probably needs a little bit more time to get used to English football. But yeah, I think they should get more of a chance, and I think they will, because we've still got Europa League to go. But Jed Spence isn't in that Europa League squad for whatever reason, and
that's
he
bizarre.
put Gray at right back, so I don't get it.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
bizarre.
understand that.
Gray spent the second half of last season a right back
At
for Leeds.
fullback. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, but that
spent the whole-
was forced by injuries. That's not
Injuries,
his
yeah.
best position.
Yeah, it's not. I remember, it's funny. I was actually on the phone to Leon, and I said, "Why are you not playing Spence at left back?" He was like, "No, I don't want to at left back."
But he played it
When he
amazing
balanced,
there when
he
he
came
won.
on,
Yeah,
he killed it.
he was sick. I didn't expect, because I'm not a fan of players who don't use their left foot play, or don't use their weaker foot playing on the side of that pitch. So for me, I've never seen Jed Spence use his left foot, so I didn't see why it would make sense for him to go there. But against Coventry,
agile,
it's
innit?
worked, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got pace, and he done well. But yeah, for me, he should be playing right back, and Gray should be playing in centre midfield with, and with whoever, and then Bergvall likewise coming on for your Madison or your Kulusevski. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's 3 out of 4. We've had Crystal Palace unluckily drawing against Man United.
James can't help it, you know.
He can't help it.
I was
really
just waiting
can't
to see
help it.
how he's going to drop it, bruv.
Every week,
So,
one more. I mean, to be honest with you, James.
I'll leave it to you.
Yeah,
Man United should destroy them.
we should have, and in the end, we were almost. Yeah, they were unlucky in the end, because it could have easily have been 1-0, and everybody would have. It would have been an uproar. I would have been an uproar. Everything would have been upside down. But overall, I feel like United did deserve to win that game. We have struggled in our last few visits to Selhurst Park, notably last season. Horrible, absolute horrible performance from us. I think we conceded 4, which is just really not good enough. But where we're at is getting a 0-0, and I guess I'll have to take that. You can't really take that fixture lightly. And when we started out, it looked like the intent was there. Now, when I saw the lineup, I was a little bit apprehensive, because I thought to myself, well, I was crying out, and as you guys know, I was crying out for Rashford to be dropped, just for not the purpose of anything other than let's just raise the stakes in everybody's head and think, you know what, nobody's place is kind of like, irreplaceable. But they stood with him, and he managed to get himself 2 games on a bounce. He got 2 braces, and I thought, all right, now he's going to go and play against Crystal Palace, and he's probably going to get a couple more. They drop him. They bring in Garnacho. All right, Garnacho's a very good deputy. I say deputy, he should be starting, but you know what I mean. He's a really good guy to come in and take over. He didn't finish his dinner, and again, goes back to one of the original pods that we did, when you asked me, James, like, what do we need this season? I just said to you, goals. And every game we've played, I feel like it just sticks out like a sore thumb. If we don't get goals in these kind of games and, against the bigger teams, we're really going to struggle no matter what kind of the point tally is at the end of the season to kind of better ourselves than we did last year. But yeah, just going back to the Palace game, I was really impressed with a few things. One, Eriksen, I feel like he had a really good game. Controlled the tempo nicely. I would argue that he played better than Bruno, to be fair. Bruno didn't really look like he was in the game as much as he should have been.
Surprise. The diva goes missing again.
No, do you know what? Yeah, to be honest, I was going to ask you guys a question. I don't know if it's too early to ask you, but do you think it would be such a bad idea for maybe Eriksen to just step in and give Bruno a little rest? Now, I know it's my team per se, but would it be a silly question to ask? Because if Eriksen does find form, he can really break them lines. He has the ability to do that. I mean, you've had experience with that as well, Lee, when he was at the Lane. But like he's a very clever footballer, but he has to be informed to do that. Obviously, at the tail end, I say tail end of his career. So, what do you think? Like, do you think if he come in for Bruno, would you reckon it would make a difference? Or nah, not really.
I'm not sure because the Eriksen that we had is a different Eriksen to now. Like he's
good.
His game's changed. He's not the same physically, and I understand why you're saying that because I feel like you want Bruno to get a kind of a kick out the backside because he's not performing in the same way that you're expecting, and realistically, you don't have anyone else that can play in that same position other than Eriksen. But or maybe Mason Mount because he done it for Chelsea when he was at Chelsea, but you wouldn't say that Mount is as creative as those two. But I don't know. I just don't see how at the moment you can drop Fernandes because of how many chances he does create. And I would be frustrated with some of his performances as well if he was at Spurs. But I know for a fact that out of all the players in your team, he's the kind of player that can unlock a door out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But he's also the person that will do the most frustrating things as well.
Yeah, and I mean, when Garnacho had his chance and he missed his chance and it fell to Bruno, I thought, he's going to slot this because he's got that kind of technique where he can hit the ball any which way, and he misses the target. Well, I mean, did it come off the corner?
Yeah.
And it was just like, bro, it's just going to be one of them days again. And like, I think he's probably one of the better captains that we've had, post Fergie, but he still needs one.
Who is?
Bruno.
Who is?
Why not?
He's an awful captain.
Is he 15th in the list?
He's an awful captain.
What? Awful? In compared to who? Who are you comparing to post Fergie?
No, he was he was better for you when he wasn't the captain. He was a better player for you when he was.
All right,
you can't have a guy soaking on the pitch as your captain. That's terrible,
bro. He doesn't soak all the time. He's just very passionate about the game, bro.
Brother,
he's very passionate about the game. Listen. People show their passion in different ways.
Bro, you cannot be asked to be substituted if you're captain. I'm sorry,
I mean,
you can't.
Look,
if you're not injured, you can't, brovs.
But how do you know he's not injured?
What do you mean?
You don't know he's not injured?
I don't know he's not injured.
No, you don't know he's not injured.
So why don't you go sit down on the pitch, bro? Why is he saying to me? Why is he like this? Why is he not sitting down?
Yeah, but he doesn't necessarily need to be sitting down. He doesn't need to sit down to claim injury.
I'm
just telling you, he doesn't need to sit down to claim injury.
Bruvs. The guy is a diva, bruvs. As I said, he is Mariah Carey in football boots, bruvs. In his contract, he's going to ask for.
But look,
in his contract, he's going to ask for red Skittles, bruvs. All red Skittles in the changing room. That's what he's going to want, bruvs.
Listen, but obviously, the only reason why I asked the question is because I know Bruno's got the ability. So for me, we need more goals. He's the one that's going to really create them because he had one of the worst seasons last year and still managed to be up there on the creative side of things. So yeah, for us, I mean, a goal scorer would be like really paramount. I mean, I'm looking at the likes of Xerxes and Højlund, and I think to myself, Xerxes is not going to be up there. I know I was only bantering in the beginning of the season. Xerxes is not going to be up there, but what I will tell you is he is key to build up. You can see that he has got the ability to hold up the ball and link up with the likes of Ahmad, Rashford, Garnacho, and so on. But he's not going to be the guy that's going to get us 15 plus. He's just not got it, because even, I don't know if it was Bruno Eriksson that put a ball into the box and he got like his little toe in it. I'm thinking, anybody else, if that's Garnacho or Rashford, that's going in the back of the net. He barely got a little flicker on it. I'm thinking, guys, he wants to run late into the box with the ball. Sometimes you've got to be there. Just be there and put the ball in the back of the onion bag and stop messing about.
How do you feel about what Ten Hag did in terms of dropping Rashford for this game? So Rashford has been.
Well, he kind of said that. At the
that's what I led with. But that's what I led with but that's the reason why I led with it, because it's frustrating. But I have to, in my head, think it has to be for tactical reasons. I can't think of anything else other than it has to be tactical reasons, because when I was asking him to be dropped, I was asking him to be dropped on form, and
he wasn't dropped though.
But he wasn't dropped.
Ten Hag has really said it. It's speculation is crazy. I would almost say, as a person, you are not okay to bring such speculation if you don't know. It's simple rotation. We have a lot of games, and other players need to play in the starting 11.
Right. And then one of your better forwards scores. It has been for a barren spell, and you decide that after 2 games of him scoring a brace, you're going to drop him and think that is.
This is what
I know one's Barnsley. Go on, bro.
What I thought was he wanted to drop him, but he couldn't. He knew you had to drop him, and he was bigging him up because he knew how big it would be if he dropped him, wasn't scoring goals. So the best time to drop him is when he's doing okay, and you think that the person you're bringing in Garnacho, is on the high, which he has been. And at the same time, Ahmad was your player of the month. So Ahmad, people are saying, why was he not playing against Liverpool, etc. So if Ahmad's playing so well, Garnacho being your wonder kid, so to speak, he thought maybe this is the best time. That's the way I saw it.
I mean, I didn't think about it like that, and that's not a bad rationale, to be fair. I didn't think about it like that. Go on, B.
No, because the second part to the question I was going to ask was, and then his substitutions for him to take off Xerxes to put him up front. Did that make any sense to you?
No, I feel like we should have. I feel like we should have started with Rashford, and we could have potentially got away with Ahmad and Garnacho all on the pitch. Maybe Rashford down the middle and try to do it that way, like what we did up against Barnsley, almost to some degree. And I feel like that may have reaped dividends. But again, I'm looking at it. I'm saying with Erik ten Hag, I can't read. He's not got like a normal book that you can read from, and you say like, this is the reason why he's done that. It can only be tactical reasons why he's decided to drop him. And obviously, James just threw another kind of something in the hat and said, it could just be a case of he couldn't drop him before. Now he's good opportunity because Rashford's head won't necessarily drop because he was on a high from having back-to-back games where he scored. So yeah, not a bad shout. I'm just going to go off and just going to run through a couple more things that I had some concerns over. It's Martinez's temperament. Now, guys.
Yo. Hey, yo.
The one with the butcher, yeah?
I love passion. And like me and you was going at it, B, yeah? And I'm saying passion comes out in different ways. But it should never be 2 feet in the air, studs up, coming down.
Yeah.
Even Sunday League, that's bad, bro. I cannot believe he got away with it.
I'm going to tell you this now.
He won the ball, but boy, if he didn't, oh my!
If he got a little bit of the player, that was it. And I think, do you see those them fine margins? Which one of us was talking about it on this? About the little mistakes, like something like that. All right, I think it was regarding Trossard. So we're struggling defensively. We were struggling defensively. I'd like to say that De Ligt looks like he's coming into form, attacking wise as well. He's looking comfortable on the ball at the back. Mazraoui, he's been very competent on the ball since he stepped in. Probably one of the better signings in terms of just how he's just stepped in like he's always been there. In terms, at the back. But when you look at us potentially losing another centre-back, making a decision like that, you think to yourself, what is he bonkers? What is he thinking? Because not only would he probably get like a 3-match ban, but I'm pretty sure there's a rule that they could probably overrule that and extend it because of how stupid it is. Like, add another,
Dangerous.
you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that was my only concern. It's the first time I've seen him do something like that where I thought to myself, I wouldn't do that myself. But this time I was like, nah, I definitely wouldn't do that.
No, bruv, he's done stuff, bruv. He gets and he's got away with it every single time, bruv.
Yeah, the other stuff is,
He's
you
done
know,
stuff.
you do them. You do the dark arts. Like, you get away with it. But that, I can't. Not right in the middle of the box. Everyone's watching. It weren't hidden at all. And yeah, you know, Anana's double save. I mean, again, I know you touched on it earlier, Jay, and you was like, yeah, you know, he started last season well as well, so don't get yourself the hopes up too high. Listen, I've got to get my hopes up because he ended the season not great. But the double save, it's better than Reyes. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, technically, you got something to say, Bev? You look like you want to. I'm just saying, it's better than the double save for Reyes.
Well, against I know. Yeah, okay, go for it.
Yeah. We got Wednesday football this season as well, just so you know, yeah? We got Wednesday football as well.
Who are you playing this week?
20.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, on Wednesday. You know, just Wednesday. Like they do Champions League. So it's kind of same, but different. But anyway. But yeah, Onana, yeah, I was really happy with Onana. I'm happy to see Højlund come back in, get a couple of minutes. So that shows that he's obviously nearing match fitness. So we could hopefully play kind of, you know, change the way we're tactically approaching games, because this thing where we're going with a false nine, it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. But yeah, man, I've just got to look forward to 20 and Spurs the next week. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting.
So, that Man United game, I wasn't surprised. I think you haven't won there since 2020, so it's not a good ground for you to go to. And listen, we're going there in a couple of weeks, and I'm not certain we're going to win there. They generally are quite stubborn. I don't think they've lost the game yet. I think they're still unbeaten. Maybe they've had 3 draws, or maybe they have lost actually if they've only had 3 draws. But it's just what you get from Man United at the moment. You don't know what you're going to get every week. You've lost to us, then you've done well, and then you've gone the next game and you've put in a good performance, and then obviously you've beaten Barnsley 7-0, and then this happens. So you're still building. I'm expecting these kind of performances to happen over the season. I think you're right in terms of De Ligt. He needs to get used to football again, innit? And it's a new league. So I think he's got what it takes to do a good job for you guys. And it's just whether the partnership can stay together through fitness. Because your biggest issue over the time is not even just being how poor you defend. It's the fact that you defend so poorly because you've literally got a different partnership every week.
Yeah.
So there's no continuity.
Nothing.
So I think once that settles, you should be okay. It's just a matter of when that settles, because it may not happen until December, and if that happens, then he might be gone. But
I think they got to be happy with a point. They got done home and away by Crystal Palace last season, so you got to take this point and be happy with it.
Yeah, no, it's
4-0, 1-0.
Yeah, take it and move on.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but we need goals, man. I think that's my general consensus since the beginning of the season. We need 20 plus goals to even be in the conversation for anything, you know, going into the tail end of the season. So I know it's early days, guys, but you know, I'm just putting my flag in the sand from early.
So we'll move to the last game. Won't say much about it. I actually went to this game, and I couldn't believe how poor West Ham defended, how poorly they defended against Chelsea. Chelsea were one of the teams I predicted to finish potentially 4th, and we've cussed the bags, man.
Can we do a tally every time he scores a goal? Can we do a tally till he gets to 15?
We might have to.
Yeah,
we might have to, boy.
Right.
Because he's been taking shots. Because even Obi Mikel took shots at him, and he came back and took shots back at him, and Mikel was like, "Listen, if you score every week, I have nothing to say." And he took it personally because he's now scoring every week. So watching him, it was rich. It was like schoolboy football defending wise. That first goal, he got the ball not that far from the halfway line. He just ran straight into the box and kicked it through the goalkeeper's legs. So I was like, what is going on? So West Ham atrocious. Chelsea were comfortable. Caicedo was really good in centre midfield. Enzo was okay. Didn't really see much of him. It was more Sancho doing well in the first half. He faded a bit. And to be honest, even, what's his name? Left winger. Right winger, sorry. Madueke. He wasn't that great until second half. But you could see what's cooking there. And we've all said it. If they get it clicking early, then there could be trouble. Not in terms of they're going to win a league, but there'll be trouble in terms of positions fighting for Champions League, etc. So I thought it was a good performance from them, and West Ham are in trouble.
West Ham with major problems. I think I put them in my top 6. That looks like a howler.
Oh, yeah, Fulkrug.
Yeah,
Fulkrug.
absolute howler.
Achilles injury, he's out.
Yeah.
It's early doors still, man. It's early days. They've had to play Man City and Chelsea, obviously at home, but it's early. It's when they come up against teams that they would see as on their level or better than, I think we'll know where West Ham really are. Because we know they normally cause a problem to the big sides, but at the moment they haven't.
That was Moyes though. Moyes had that.
Exactly. But Lopetegui is not the same type of manager, and so far what he's tried to do tactically really hasn't worked for them, especially defensively. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's able to stamp his authority. But for Enzo Maresca, he's just been fine-tuning. You can see he's fine-tuning his team. He had a lot of stick over, or not him personally, but Chelsea got a lot of stick over the squad size and everything. But he's basically set, these are the players that I want, the 21, 23 players, and that's who he's going with. And so far, they've looked good. They scored goals. Jackson is started well, but Palmer's continued as he did from last season.
Yeah.
I think defensively they're still a little bit fragile.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows what his best partnership is yet, and I think once they do, maybe it will be a little bit better. But the thing about Chelsea is they've got so many options, man. So many options. You just think if one guy doesn't do it one game, they got subs, and the next game that player can be dropped easy, and there'll be no change.
Do you think Maresca's been patient?
Again?
Do you think Maresca's been patient with the squad that he's got? Or do you reckon they make bad call and he's chopping them? See you later. You're gone.
No, I think he's exercising rotation at the moment because he needs to be able to see on the pitch how the players who he thinks are good enough to be in his team can perform. And you can't just do it in training. You're playing against familiarity. When you're playing against opposition who have a different game plan that you don't know about, it's completely different. That's why training is never, a real barometer of how well a player is going to perform on the pitch. So,
I also think in terms of the West Ham game, I think he put in Tosin thinking that Antonio was going to play, and that was a spanner in the works. It fell flat in their face because they were hopeless, really, up front. It didn't help. What's his name? I forget his name again. It didn't help Bowen at all, being the centre forward, and it made it easy for Tosin and for Colwell just to dominate them because the movement wasn't good enough. So I think to answer that question, I think he's trying to find the right player for different circumstances, which is what some managers do. Some managers will put a certain player in just because, okay, this is what you're going to face this week. And to be quite honest, Badir Shiel hasn't been good when he's been given minutes, and they rate Colwell. So they're both left-sided. So those two are batting for the left side. And Disasi hasn't looked good since he joined. Him being there is a shock that he's actually still there. Well, they probably can't get rid of him because of a 9-year contract. or 10-year contract. So I think one of my biggest surprises was not to see Todibo. I don't know, maybe he came to West Ham with an injury because he's not used to the Premier League, but he's a very good centre-back. And I'm surprised that he hasn't been given game time yet. But that's enough for that. We shall end it there, because we've almost reached an hour, and time has flown by. So, thanks, guys, as usual, for the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys out there watching as well, hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, don't forget to go to our X page, and that is at Armchair Pundits, and on Instagram for our shorts at Armchair Pundits Podcasts, and go to TikTok as well at armchair.pundits, where you find our shorts. I usually try to drop one a day. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe and to share. And also, we have now got our own WhatsApp channel, which is Armchair Pundits, in brackets ACP. So yep, join us there, where you can see everything we post all in one place, not clogging up your normal timeline. So take it easy, guys. Peace out.
Peace.
Later.